Happy New Year and best of the season to you. I'm Dave Barry, the news director at CKPG, along with Shari Green, the mayor of Prince George. Welcome very much and Happy New Year to you, Shari.
Thanks very much for having me, Dave.
Every year we've been able to sit down with the mayor and talk about where Prince George has been and where it's going in the next year. And so we have this opportunity once again to speak with our mayor, Shari Green. Shari, first of all, 2014 or 2013, a busy year once again in the city. What was the proudest accomplishment in the city this year?
Well, a pretty significant year, no question, as an organization, and probably the single biggest decision that council made for 2013 was the hiring of our new city manager, Beth James. That's a really significant decision. You need to make sure you get the right person in the right job, and we really think that we've got a great hire there. She's incredibly enthusiastic, new to the community, so diving right in and learning a lot about our city and really enjoying being a new resident of Prince George.
So why does a city manager, why is that a significant a role in the city?
Well, she's the leader of the administration, so all of the staff report to her, and she certainly sets the tone for the operation and is the key person responsible for implementing all of council's policies and strategic goals.
Now, it's been 2 years since you were elected mayor. How have you done?
It's been a long 2 years, no question, and yet it's gone by so quickly. We've done a lot. Council has moved a lot of things forward in the city, and probably most important for me has been really around our financial sustainability. We've really put a lot of effort into educating ourselves and the community around our road infrastructure and all of our linear assets, the water, the sewer, and the storm as well. And so we've really worked hard to try to get our funding at a proper sustainable level so that we can continue to maintain those core assets.
Are you pleased with your performance?
I am. I certainly, I know I've ruffled a few feathers, and there should be no surprise to anyone what I said I was going to do when I became elected, and I think I've tried to deliver on all of those things. There's a few things still to be worked on and a few things that aren't going to get achieved, but overall I'm really pleased with the work that's been done so far.
Well, one of the things that you talked about in the run-up to the election was a request that you would make to every department to cut 10%. So we've been through 2 years now.
Yep.
Has that goal in your mind been accomplished?
Well, so the words were different than that, and what I wanted to achieve was to find savings of up to 10%, and that it wouldn't be possible in every department, and that would be okay too. If people could put in the effort and try and see what they could do, that would be satisfaction for me. But the reality is that's a decision of council, and so I need support around the table for that kind of initiative, and it's very clear that this council is not going to go that far, that deep. It's a big exercise, and there's lots of communities that are challenging their staff to be able to do that, and they don't all find it. But what they do is generate a conversation about how are we doing our work and what does this stuff cost. So simultaneous to that, we worked on the core review throughout 2012, and in 2013 the implementation plan arrived in July from our new city manager, an outstanding piece of work. And so it found some savings in a few areas and some ways that we could be more efficient, but definitely the challenge of reducing a budget by up to 10% is one that all of council has to be on board with, and they're not.
I want to talk about the core review in a second, but I'd like to talk about council too, because one of the other platforms you talked about was having a council that worked together.
Yeah.
Now, are you satisfied with the level of cooperation of other members of council?
Very much. We've been very involved. We've got a lot more activity around our committees. Council's much more engaged in the Finance and Audit Committee, which I think is a great thing. It's got everybody in the loop at an earlier stage of some of the work that's being done. And we've made some pretty big decisions as a team, and we don't always agree. We're all individual people. We're not on a party system. You don't have a party whip that's getting people to fall in line. Everybody brings their own experience and their own interests to the table. And so we've had some pretty vigorous debate on a few things, but overall we've made some pretty solid decisions in the last couple of years that I'm really pleased with.
Now, the core review was a very controversial piece of work done by the city in the first couple of years under your leadership. When you look back at the core review, has it accomplished what you hoped it would accomplish?
It's done exactly what I hoped it would, which for me was about the community having a conversation about what's important to them. And so we have a huge organization with an enormous operating budget and 700 employees throughout, providing a variety of services. And a lot of misinformation, misunderstanding, around the community from different people or from different sectors around what's really going on there. And so for me, the core review was about making sure that we know what the business units are that we are in, why we do the work, how we do the work, what does it cost, what is the value to the community, and can we do it better or differently or more efficiently? Are there ways to save money? And are there things we shouldn't be in the business of? If there are dollars to be found or gained, whatever that may be, either through savings or through new revenue, how can we redirect those dollars into the core things that we really do need to pay attention to, which has always been for most people roads, potholes. 2012 was a disaster year for potholes. 2013 was outstanding, and I can tell you the difference in the quantity of emails I received from one year versus the next over the vast improvement we've been able to make in road infrastructure. So around the core review, it really was key to have a whole book that we could really hold up and look at and say, this is what this organization is about. And there's some things in there that just weren't doable, and there are some things in there I agreed with and some I didn't. And council had a great opportunity in July of 2013 to sit down with the entire list of all the recommendations of input that we had received, not just from council and from all of our city staff, but from the community as well, and really dive into what do we want to do and what do we want to just let go.
Right. Now, there were some fairly high cost saving opportunities that were passed by, and I'm thinking about the Pine Valley situation as well as the swimming pools. So when you look back at the core review and you see some of these opportunities that that escaped, if I can put it that way, do you still feel it was something that was able to accomplish what the goals you had set out for?
Absolutely. For the $350,000 investment that we made in that exercise, which again had our staff working with KPMG, they were the one bidder on the project. They worked together with our staff to produce a lot of information, give us a lot of context around what some of the things are that we do and what other communities across BC and across the nation are doing, what they are in the business of or not. And it was an opportunity for us to decide what we needed to do for Prince George. And it's a council decision. And for some, there were some political decisions to be made, not necessarily decisions that are no-brainers. There were some tough ones, and Pine Valley is a perfect example of a tough one. So some folks very organized, a lot of sentiment around hanging on to a piece of green space, and I can tell you we have an enormous amount of green space in this city. So for me, the Pine Valley decision is an opportunity lost. I respect that there's a decision made by council to maintain the golf course. It's a challenge because there's a lot of municipalities getting out of the golf business. There's a ton of golf courses around the city already that people can choose and others do to attend. So we're hanging on to a piece of land that has some future potential for this community in terms of property tax, year over year annual contribution to our operating budget that would have made a significant impact to other opportunities we could have put that money to.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and come back with the mayor.